Hey everybody, Cara Castronova with Lindell TV here with Anna Toledo. She is a subject matter expert on MK Ultra, and we're here at the Feds for Freedom event in Washington D.C. talking about MK Ultra, which is sort of the talk of the town now. That yesterday there was that hearing at Congress with Anna Paulina Luna really exposing MK Ultra, how it's been used through the years against the people, and now maybe even in the modern day. How is MK Ultra being used now against the people?
Well, yes, MK Ultra never ended. It only morphed into a quite like the same covert program, but now instead of what I like to say is instead of LSD and the sleep deprivation and all those tactics, they use directed energy weapons, remote technology, energy technology. Basically, they use cell towers, they use satellites, and it's like Mr. Greg Edbrink said in that May 8th, 2024 hearing in the House Homeland Security Committee. He said these weapons leave no entry or nor exit wound, but make the person feel as though they're going crazy. And so they use these weapons for mind control. So we were very glad that yesterday's hearing, even though it was about the past, it left the door open to start an investigation if it's still going on today. And that's exactly where we want to go, because it's definitely going on. There are hundreds of thousands of victims in the United States, including children.
And I know that you mentioned that President Trump, it's your belief that they're using MK Ultra against the president?
Well, I think they're using the weapons. I think that the swollen hands, the swollen ankles, that's what I believe. And they could be trying to do the mind control thing, because I really believe that these weapons are so powerful that it is not until you know they're using them on you where you can do, for example, positive affirmations, and you can counteract its effect.
Right.
But you have to be aware that they exist and that they can be used against you. One of the ways that we know they're used against us is you can cup your ears for 45 seconds in a very quiet room. And after 45, 50 seconds, you'll hear some pops. Those are the cell tower tracking signals that are being used on everyone in the population is being tracked.
I know that a lot of people that were investigating January 6th believe that they were using cell phone towers. There was some strange towers in the area, and I've heard that theory that there was MK Ultra that day. Have you heard that?
I think that many of them were entrapped through mind control, probably. And I think that the J6 was a quintessential MK Ultra experiment. They researched them before they did the planning in Boston. They did the planning in Boston in August, and then they researched them, and then they entrapped them. And I know for a fact that many of them get the microwave auditory effect, which is perpetrated through satellite weapons. And you won't hear it, but only the person standing next to you will hear these voices. And it's evil, it's satanic, it's very debilitating for the people.
Right. And you have this form here that I'm looking at. Subliminal messaging from cell towers you think affects mass shooters. Trump derangement syndrome, interesting. Gender dysphoria, Antifa, flat earthers, climate hoaxers. So you think that this MK Ultra is affecting all of these groups?
Yeah, well, we believe like mass shooters. When you think prior to 9/11, how many mass shooters did you have? Not many. And when you see it's an exponential growth, and a lot of it has to do with this mass formation that is perpetrated. Trump derangement syndrome, there's no explanation for it. Like, you ask people, why do we hate Trump? And they just don't know. And it's this constant, and your normal ear won't hear it, but it's your subconscious, But what Targeted Justice is really happy about today, that we filed a lawsuit that is to have civilian victims of Havana syndrome recognized, and for CDC to issue diagnostic guidance so that physicians around the nation can diagnose Havana syndrome.
What is Havana syndrome? So for people that don't know, if you could explain.
Yes, it's anomalous health incidents. In Havana syndrome is an injury. It's a debilitating condition that is developed when a person is exposed to a certain directed energy weapon, high-powered microwave weapons. That is what the National Academies of Science, Medicine, Engineering have concluded. And they started in 2000. It was before 2016, but the first cases were the ones that were in the Havana embassy. And so they originally, people like Catherine Herridge have been reported, they only thought it affected government employees. But we have at Targeted Justice, we have evidence that civilians are victims of anomalous health incidents as well. And the CDC has not issued diagnostic guidance, so they cannot get diagnosed, they cannot get anything.
That's interesting. So people can find out more at targetedjustice.com.
Yes.
And you're saying this matters to Congress because undetected influence on election officials. That's interesting. That's the first point. Number 2, risk to national security in elections, public health and civil liberties at stake, MK Ultra precedent, which was 1953 to 74. This is what they've admitted. But as everybody knows, the CIA only admits to things in the past. They probably will rename a project. They won't call it MK Ultra anymore. They'll say that's over, rename it something else, and people will find out 50 to 100 years from now. In the past tense. And you're saying that they need hearings on microwave technologies. Well, really quick, how do you think that this affects elections and national security, specifically pertaining to elections?
Well, it's mind control. It's subliminal messaging and mind control. When you see these people that they don't have a rational thought, they're just fanatics. And this is how it's being done. Because before people were, then again, we've been listening here to a lot of education, health, a lot of factors that affect it, but the subliminal messaging, the mass formation that is being done with cell towers, and this can be proven because these are weaponized cell towers that are equipped with a microwave, with a chip that produces microwave beams. The 5G is already a weapon, so that doesn't have to be weaponized. But FCC knows that these 4-panel cell power antennas, the 4-panel antennas, are a weapon, a directed energy weapon, and they are everywhere. So this is how, you cannot hear it, but your subconscious can. And you have to start, doing positive affirmations. I will only react to constructive suggestions, for example, before you go to sleep, because these affect people that are highly suggestible in the population. Our numbers said that 1/3 of the population was highly suggestible. I think that has changed for many factors. And those are the people that are more susceptible to this kind of subliminal messaging.
How could people protect themselves from MK Ultra?
Well, that takes a long explanation, but the most important thing is to be very observant. If you realize that weird things start happening in your life, they might not be by coincidence. They might be part, you may have become part of this program. And there are ways to protect yourself. Many people, we use shielding against the microwaves, basically, because that's what you need to do. Shielding against.
You're talking about Faraday bags. Like they make a lot of these. I've seen sort of trending where you could put them around your bed, where a cell phone reception doesn't come into your bed. It actually your cell phone won't work in your bed. It blocks Wi-Fi. It blocks cell phone towers. You mean something like that?
Ideally, yes. I don't know if those work. I do know that, for example, try to just detach yourself from the cell phone. Do not sleep next to it. Turn off your Wi-Fi, convert your router, try to make it not Wi-Fi, take out, the Wi-Fi chips. There's people who use gel
You think
caps.
AI? Wait, people that use what?
Like you can use gel caps because water absorbs the microwaves. So the people that
So
are
like
targeted, I recommend immediately that they sleep with a water bag, for example, in front of their heart, because the water absorbs the microwaves.
So a water cat. That's interesting. We'll look
With
that.
gel.
And I'm taking, yeah, I know this sounds like a lot of people think this sounds out there, but I think this is real. I think that
No, it's
I
science.
think that AI also
Well, they use
is a form
AI.
is a form of very serious. Even I don't know if they call it MK Ultra, but some sort of mind control that the government
Absolutely.
is.
They use the debilitating microwave auditory effect, which is that they beam voices to your head that the other person cannot hear, only you can hear. Well, which is a form of mind control, it's to perpetrate mind control. Well, that is done with microwaves, and unfortunately for that, I don't know that we have mechanism to shut them down.
We're here at the Feds for Freedom event. It was originally called Feds for Medical Freedom, so a lot of people here were really against the vaccine. Do you think that mind control and some sort of form of MK Ultra, maybe renamed as something else, was in play during the pandemic because of the hysteria and because of the irrationality and the lunacy that happened with the people
Yes.
force injecting, putting masks on, wearing bubbles on their head, literally living in glass boxes, going swimming with masks. It was absolutely bonkers.
Insane. And it was all subliminal messaging. You're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. It's like put on the mask, put on the mask. And because there was no other explanation to get so many people injected with a pharmaceutical product that has been known to be now a bioweapon, and that, like Dr. Mihalcha has and Dr. Nixon have concluded, have seen under the microscope, the self-assembling nanotechnology that, and even people that are dead are still emitting signals from their graves. It's just thank God, I didn't get jabbed, and a lot of the people here didn't get jabbed, but many people were convinced to it through, I think, subliminal messaging and mass formation.
And a lot of times, I think the mainstream media is probably the biggest MK Ultra experiment, just renamed to the news. But anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to talk today. People could learn more about MK Ultra on your website, which is targetedjustice.com. And also just check out that hearing yesterday. If you don't believe any of this hearing yesterday with Anna Paulina Luna at the Congress, the MK Ultra hearing, we've been waiting for this, really exposes what they've been doing through the years. It just sounds crazy, but this stuff is real. And you can only imagine how much it's advanced into the modern day. Thank you so much for talking to us, Anna.
Thank you.